In this video, I'm going to show you how to create 3 inspiring melody and chord progressions for you to use in your own tracks. Hi, my name is Lilo Reddy. I'm a producer and owner of Abstract Music Lab, and writing melodies doesn't have to be complicated. So today, we're going to go for a super practical, hands-on session, no boring theory. So let's get right into these melodies. Chord stabs can be an essential tool in your writing arsenal, so let's take a look into this progression. We're gonna first start with the chords, just so we get the foundation of what we're working with. And we're starting here with B, then we're going to C sharp, and then we're going to G sharp. As you can see, we're using tone, fifth, and the tone again. We're not using any thirds over here because we're going to complement our chords with the stabs above, as you can see it over here. We're adding here a third and a seventh, as you can see in the progression. But this changes over here in the next chord as we're playing here the C sharp. You can see that now we're playing here a fifth and a second. Why? Because we kept this same note over here, the D, instead of growing it to the third. Because the third would feel first a little bit strange, and second we want to keep kind of like a home place for our stabs. We don't want to change it too much, because if we change it too much, it can be too much of a change. And at the same time we change the top note just to give a different feeling to the chord progression, as you can listen again. If you want to change something, instead of using the third that would sound a bit strange, you can use the fourth, giving another emotional character using the fourth in the progression. Then we move into the last chord of the progression, which is the G sharp. Again, we're using here the fifth, as you can see, and we're using here the second of G sharp, giving another harmonics to the G sharp progression. Can you see how we kept the D sharp playing all over the place? Why did we do this? To keep a foundation for the stabs, and we're just changing here the top note. And you can also see that the first note is the same as the last note. Why? Because we established the foundation for our stabs, which are these two notes. And then when we go back to it, even though you're using different chords, the foundation could work really well to give back that home sensation in the chord progression. Lastly, syncopation is really important over here, because you can see that we're not playing this along with the grid. You can see that we're playing every 3/16 instead of every 1/4. And in the end of the bar, we also play it as 1/8 or 2/16, just to be able to repeat it after one bar. And to spice things up, you can see that we're also doing here every 1/16 over here, just to spice things up, and also we can play the same thing at the end of the bar. And if you want to evolve your progression, you can just again play a different progression in the second 8 bar of your 16 bar progression, as you can see it over here. We can see now that we're only playing stabs, and you might say to me, Leo, but I actually want to keep the chord progressions playing along the way. Copy them. Keep them playing along the way, but you can see that we've introduced more elements into the stab. For example, now we're playing here a tone and also a seventh. You can see here that we're playing here a third, as you can see, and a seventh, but we're also playing the fifth, doing a counterpoint to the stabs. So it plays da 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 da. And to spice things up even further in the B major scale, you can see that this note is not actually in the scale. Why? We're using here the B Lydian, and we're transforming the C sharp from a minor chord to a major chord, and this plays the third over here. This is just an evolution of what we had before in the first progression. You can definitely just copy it, but it's always nice to do a variation of it just to make it evolve and make it grow, so your song doesn't grow repetitive and boring along the way. You don't have to evolve it so much. You can keep it as we had before, But adding a third line of chords over here could be a nice gesture just to add a bit more energy into what you had. For example, like this. Really cool, right? Now let's go into our next chord. Your second chord progression works really well as a foundation, especially if you have a vocal in your song. And we have two parts of this. We have the theme, and we also have the chords. But let's start with the theme. And you can see that the theme is pretty simple. We're just playing tone and third. And there's not much difference in it. Only when the chord is ending that we change the tone to a seventh and third over here, just to create more movement and to create a resolution feeling into this theme, as you can listen here. Now looking into the chords, we're playing here F major, but as you can see, we're just playing tone and fifth. Why are we not playing the third? Because the third is already here, so we're harmonizing the chords with the motif that we have above. You can see that now we change the chord to G and D, and this changes from a tone and third to a seventh and second. You can see how it works really well. It actually enhances the chords, and it does the same thing for what we have in the third chord, which is a D minor. As you can see, we're playing the third here, tone, third, fifth. But you can see that this chord is really deep, and this happens because of the F over here, and we play it over here. Without it, it feels a bit softer, and if you want to make it even softer, you can play this D an octave up. A lot softer than what we have. But why are we playing this D this deep? Because we want a bit more sadness into it. That's why we're going down with the progression, because we want to add that sadness, that deepness into the chord progression, as you can listen again. And we're wrapping this up with the fourth of the progression, which is the B flat, and the fifth, which again plays a different role for the progression. As you can listen, this plays the tone, but this plays a seventh over here. And as you can listen again, the fourth is a really nice chord for the last of your progression because it calls out a lot to the initial chord, as you can see it again. And you can see how the fourth merges into the first really well. It just restarts the progression. But now, if you want to add a bit more stuff into it, if you don't have a vocal on top of it, it's really nice if you add a melody on top of everything, as you can see it in the second part of this progression. Once you have established the foundation of your chord, you can add a lead into it just to add more harmonics and emotion into this chord progression. Two things that I want to point out in this chord progression and in this melody. It doesn't have to be super complex, as you can see it, and the motif complements whatever you have in the chords. We're not repeating chords all over the place. Second thing is, you can see that the motif, it not only plays in different intervals that the lead is playing, but we're also playing different notes from the progression. Instead of only playing F or even starting with F in the extra melody, we're not even playing the main root of the note. We're playing fourth, thirds, seconds, sometimes fifths, sometimes thirds in an octave up, as you can listen again. And there you have it. Simple enough of a motif to not be super complex, but effective enough to be a really powerful chord. To spice things up, you can do two other things to make your chords more interesting. You can use the triplets or also the Lydian scale. Listen, for example, to how this sounds. We're starting here with a C Lydian chord progression. And Lydian may feel a little bit complex because this is a mode of C major, but it's not super complex, so let's take a look into it. Essentially, we're playing here tone, fifth, and tone, an octave up, but this is the foundation of our chord progression. You can see that we're playing this in all the notes that we're playing. We're playing C, then A, then E, then D, but we're always using tone, fifth, tone, tone, fifth, tone, tone, fifth tone, tone, fifth tone. It always stays the same. What changes is the top chords over here. And here we start with a third, fifth, and seventh. The seventh and the third harmonizes really well this chord progression. That's why we're not playing the third here below, because we have some space above, and to harmonize the high end, that's why we're doing it this way. You may ask me, Leo, but how do I activate the triplets? If you're using Ableton, you can press Command 3, or if you're using Windows, you can press Ctrl 3. But in the second chord, you can see that we keep the foundation of tone, fifth, and tone, but we also keep the top notes of what we had before in the first note. Why? To harmonize the chord of A minor that we have. Instead of playing third, fifth, and seventh, now this plays something completely different. This plays fifth, seventh, and second. And you can see how this gives a different taste to it, while the A minor feels like a natural way for the C major to go. Now moving on into the second chord, we're going to the third of C major, which is E. Again, same foundation for the first three notes, but the last three notes we're playing something different, because we don't want this to go super high as if we just moved everything three notes up. We're just going here and adding here a second, third, and fifth. Listen to how this sounds. And listen how this chord feels a little bit more close together than this one, for example. The difference in the notes are a lot closer apart, and we're doing this to keep these two notes always the same. Why? To keep a foundation and a safe place for us to always go to, as you can listen over here. And moving on into the last chord, we activate the Lydian feel into it. Why are we doing this? Because now we're going to play the third, which is this note over here, in the Lydian. So instead of playing here as a major, in which this would be a minor chord, as you can listen here, and this would feel a little bit sad, but now we're playing this as a Lydian, giving a happier tone to this D minor, playing it as D major. And to finish everything, instead of playing the G that we've been playing all over the chord, we go here into another fifth, as you can see, and finish with the B, which is the sixth of the scale. Why? To give a different feel, to give a resolution feel to this, as you can listen here. And you can see how if we played the same thing, it still feels nice, but this just gives a happier and more finishing tone to the top progression. It's always nice to add the variation. Why? To not make things get repetitive over time. So often I just get the last note and change it a little bit. You can even reverse it and play it something like this. Or even something like this. Just to change a little bit of your progression and to change the feel of it, again, giving movement and cadence into your sound. To wrap things up, you can see that this D is really close to the C because this is the D major and this is a C major, and it's a really natural way to go back to the C major that we had before. It just feels like a natural transition. And that's about it. If you like the video, you can hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, but you can also get the Infinite Dreams pack that it's available here in the description below. It's 110 premium MIDI files for house music, progressive house, and melodic house, and also deep house to spark complete track ideas into your own productions right away. This is Leo Loretti from Abstract Music Lab signing off. Ciao.